Born wild in a world that wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hello, Mountaineers. I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley, and this is the WolfMan's Call for the Texas Longhorns Review 2022. Brought to you by Parmar Stores. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be one soon. And Artisan Grange Company. Switch to hemp, just the dip. Do it the AGC way. Artisan Grange Company hemp. The Texas Longhorns. Wow. That's a tough one, huh? Right to the chin. Right to the chin. And then it was like a jab, cross, jab, then a hook because the Mountaineers took it all. Boom, 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 boom. And they still were standing. And then that was another jab, cross. And then we fought back a little bit. And then they just went boom, 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 boom. And then it was kind of the second half. It's kind of like, well, call off the dogs. There's Steve Sarkisian, Texas Longhorns, because the game was already won pretty much coming out when opportunity for that interception came out and they scored 35-7. You know, pretty much I thought he called off the dogs. I really thought Steve Sarkisian called off the dogs. I thought it could have been 60 points scored on us if they would have kept throwing the ball, kept doing what they were doing. I thought they went back to the running game. Bijan Robinson and Rashawn Johnson and, just playing a little bit more perimeter stuff. But the perimeter, actually, they hurt us a whole bunch on the perimeter at times. Now, I'm going to show you some highlights, just a couple, lowlights, whatever, of what the Mountaineers did good, because we're not going to go away from what they did good and what they can learn from. And then we're not going to go away from what they did bad and what they can learn from. And then there's just a little bit, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there was that, and that's just the truth. At the Wolfman's Call, we're going to call it out. And I think you have to if you really want to learn. If you really want to learn, you went down to Texas. I don't know what you were expecting. I don't know what you saw on film. I don't know, but you came out, I thought, besides the first drive or two, yeah, maybe that some heart there, man. But then I thought, wow, they just, you just got overwhelmed. The snowball effect, it just, kept going. And maybe it was just a bad night. Maybe the DBs, they saw that speed, for that real speed, like top speed for the first time. I mean, you go to Texas, Xavier Worthy, I said in the pregame, he's fast as greased lightning. And Whittington, I mean, he's no joke. That receiver looked as big as our linebackers. A couple of them. I mean, he's a big dude. And then you got the tight end, the giant. I thought only Georgia had that tight end. I was wrong. And they just got athletes there, big. There's a Texas team that you always heard about. Not the last 10 years, I thought. But you had to look at it and say, which Texas team is going to show up? But in my breakdown of Texas, the Mountaineers, I said, to be successful, had to go ahead and win the first down on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Okay, didn't happen. That was all that. They also had the big play, had to out big play Texas. Didn't happen out there. Didn't do that. And, I had to out physical them. That didn't happen. Had to outplay them. Didn't happen. Okay. So all that happened, and we didn't do any of it. Didn't do any of it. But there was some good there as well. Let's look at it from this standpoint. You have to continue on. You have to play, and you want to get better. And you got a quarterback like JT Daniels that you can get better on. Was it just a bad night? Or are there things that they showed real flaws in? I think there's real flaws in there. And I think they have to go ahead and look at it. Neil Brown in his press conference this week said he's got to get the best players out there in the secondary. Yeah, you do. There's no doubt about it, because it's not going to get much easier in the Big 12, because every Big 12 team has fast players. And the one thing you hope for is that the secondary that you saw is young. When you look at Jacoby Spells, when you look at Aubrey Burks played 4 games last year as a true freshman. I believe it was 4 or 5. And then he's just played this season. He's still a youngin'. He's going to be good. There's a lot of young talent there. There's also guys that haven't really played in the Big 12, and they're seeing the speed. So they got to adjust, got to get lined up, and got to be ready for it. And I said speed kills, and speed kills fast. And trust me, I know the first time I ever experienced David Grant for the Mountaineers, played for the Cincinnati Bengals. He was a junior when I was a freshman. DG, man, what a nose guard, huge. But I'll tell you what, he was so fast. And what I had as a right guard, I had a block back on him without letting him penetrate into the backfield. Was the first time I didn't have a chance. And I grew to understand what I had to do to, if not win, at least be a stalemate. And he's a great player, played in the NFL, played in the Super Bowl. Okay, so I understand what a deer in headlights is, because I experienced it myself for the first time going against that type of talent. But I grew. And that's what the Mountaineers secondary has to do. That's what the Mountaineers offensive line has to do. And the defensive line, the backers, and everybody, running backs and wide receivers. And they have to grow after this Texas game. Because when you looked at Texas Tech, beating them, you're like, wow. Well, that was a couple, they gave up the big plays. The Longhorns did in the secondary. And that's how they really got back in the game to win it. And when you think about that, if the Mountaineers didn't make those plays, they didn't make them. You got to make big plays at big times. Critical situations. 3rd down and 3. Catch the ball for a first down. It's right in your hands. Catch the ball. You make great catches all the other times. Critical downs. Run the ball. Offensive lineman, strain harder. Get up to that second level, because you did a lousy job of blocking the second level, which is the linebackers and safeties. Did a lousy job in the box. You didn't get enough initial movement on these defensive linemen. But you say, hey, Wolf, these defensive linemen are going to be in the NFL. Yeah, I know. I'm saying if you want to win, this is what you have to do. I know those defensive linemen in Texas are going to be in the NFL, because they're not huge. They're huge. Giants. Huge. Okay. And they played really well. And I thought the whole defensive front played well. What they did is they tied up the offensive line, and the backers had a heyday. I just running the ball. But again, you'll see where the Mountaineers did some good stuff in all the phases, offensively, defensively, and special teams, and they did some not good stuff. But let's go ahead and let's look at it. I'll just do a real verbal quick breakdown. Offensively speaking, JT Daniels, I think you're still on. I think you're still playing well. I think you're still playing smart. I think you had some balls dropped, 7 of them, which hurt. I think that a couple balls you probably want back, maybe an overthrow or a little bit behind. But I think you, of course, need to get on the same page with the wide receivers. Now, the wide receivers, I want to say, I think that the defense, the Longhorns were really all over you. I think they let them play with you guys too much. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. You need to be better. You need to be better receivers. Bryce Ford Wheaton, you need to be better. Sam James, you need to be better. Caden Prather, you need to be better. Though, young buck, you are stepping up and you are doing some good stuff, and I appreciate that. And so, running backs, hey, prayers for CJ. I know that he's in good health, and that's just a scary situation. That just takes your stomach and just turns and churns, and it's so upsetting. And and I kept thinking, man, if he's okay, call his mom, call his family, call somebody, because having sons that played there, that would just be so difficult. And I'm sure we did a great job. And Neil is a superb dude that way, superb human like that. So I'm sure it was all done, but boy, that just made your stomach turn. And moving on with that, Tony Mathis, I saw you running hard at the end. I actually got some highlights there because I want to encourage you to keep it up. I saw you in protection, playing hard. Those Texas blitz, man, they blitzed, came at it. And Justin Johnson, I 4 yards per rush. I see you. I see you, young man. And you just keep getting better yourself. You can see with CJ going down at the running back stable needs to be numerous, needs to be full. And I'm wishing CJ back whenever he's supposed to be back, not a minute too soon. So I thought with the running backs and the offensive line, boy, I tell you, the run blocking. As good as you were against Virginia Tech, man, I really thought that you struggled. But in the passing game, I tell you, I thought JT Daniels had enough time to make the throws. Again, he had a whole bunch of drops at critical times. And so when it's just like that, it's like piecemeal. You're trying to put together this, that. It's not clicking. On the other side of the ball, it was all clicking. There's nothing they could do to go wrong. Even when they did something wrong, like threw a ball short, it got tipped and into the hands of Xavier Worthy for a touchdown. So, that was one of those nights where, probably would have had a hard time stopping him regardless. It's just perception is a lot too. And watching the Mountaineers look pretty much helpless in the first half in the secondary was an issue. Defensive line-wise, I thought that you played hard against a good offensive line that runs the ball well. I think they are not the best in pass protection. I thought that going into the game. I said it. I thought that you had to put pressure on Hudson Card because he was going to stand in there and make throws. In the pregame, I even showed a play of Hudson Card getting decked and delivered a ball, man. Just delivered a ball. And he did that Saturday night against the Mountaineers. I saw Lee Koba hit him a few times. And he just stood there. I mean, just right there, man, right in the chest. And he didn't flinch. And he made that great pass to Xavier Worthy. So when we look at all that, it was just a good night for Texas, bad night for the Mountaineers. But they got to bounce back. You got to have a little bounce in your step. You're 2-3. You still have all these other games. You still have a minimum of 7 games left. And that's a lot of football to be played. And you can do some things that can make your end of the season a lot better. So let's keep up with that fight. It's tough. I understand it's tough. I understand why Mountaineer fans are feeling so down. I don't feel great about this at all either. But I refuse to lay down. I refuse to abandon my young brothers. I refuse. You can get better. You can get better. I had to get better. I understand what that means. When Mike Jacobs, the OC, offensive coordinator for West Virginia for the 2 11-0 regular season teams in West Virginia history, the only undefeated regular season teams, and when he sat there and said, Wolf, you got to get better. Okay, coach, I understand. And I did. But it wasn't easy. And there are times when there are bad days and there are good days. Saturday night for the Mountaineers was a bad day. Bad day. And we have a lot of pride. We're prideful. And we don't like being embarrassed on national TV. Nobody does. And I understand the frustration. But I also understand that, you got to get up. If you really support this team, let's support them. I mean, if you're going to be, I don't know, I guess you call it bandwagon fans, get off because they don't want you anyways. They don't want you. This is a team that likes each other, believes in each other, and things haven't always gone right for them. They're a team that's going to stick together. And if they stick together, then that's the key for any type of fixing this team. You heard Neil Brown say a couple of weeks ago, there's only one group of people that's going to fix this, and that's them in that building over there at Milan Puskar Stadium. And that's the truth because you can't fix them. I can't fix them. Only they can fix themselves. And it was a loss, a tough loss, but only one loss. And if you get up there and you keep fighting, good things can happen. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights again. What I saw with the good, the bad, and the ugly, or whatever way you want to look at it. But remember this, is that the season is not over. I'll see you here after this Parmar commercial and on the other side of the highlights.
Hi, my name is Wyatt Milam, and I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home in Canova, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that golden boot pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
And if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
All he does is catch the football. That is beautiful. That's why I came to West Virginia, man.
Ding dong, the witch is dead in Arizona.
It's a totally energized Heinz Field, the power of the Renegade song.
The backyard brawl, man, against Pitt. Look at that. Oh, there's Ron Wolfley.
Wow! They came after Donovan McNabb, went after him, they played to win the game.
Everybody's going bonkers, even the referees.
Oh, those look like some sticky gloves right there. We talk about 50-50. Right now it's 50-50. Who's going to get it?
Game came with cover zero, man across the board.
Pick up a flag because, hey, and then with the Renegade song, even flags don't count.
Dave's going to get an Italian army behind him right there, just like Franco Harris.
My goodness, that is pure guts.
Give me a pepperoni roll, man. The Longhorns came in the game averaging 165 yards rushing. I told you in my pregame, the Mountaineers are going to have to stop Bijan Robinson, hold him under the 100-yard marks. They didn't. He had 101 yards, averaging 5 yards per carry. Watch this big offensive line here of the Longhorns. Watch them get out, and the other linemen are blocking down with their big, massive tight end, and they're getting around and causing problems getting in the alleyway, and Bijan Robinson having an easy 7-8-yard run. You got to do better than this here against a team with superior running backs like that. Bijan Robinson, you have to stop. Watch the next play. And here in the Longhorns, you see the short yard situation. You see Bijan Robinson getting the ball out of the pistol look, and he's going to get the first down easily. Just picking and pathing his way in the alley because the offensive linemen are out there. They're in front of the Mountaineers, and the Mountaineers are not getting any penetration whatsoever. It's an offensive line that's doing a good job. You see there, missed tackle. That's what you can't have. You can't have missed tackles against talent like Bijan Robinson and the Texas Longhorns. But there were times when the Mountaineers did a really nice job in stopping the running game. You see here, Jordan Jefferson, yes, he got the face mask penalty, but things happen when you're in the middle of a pile in a huge scrub and you got massive people around you. But watch the initial impact of Jordan Jefferson here in the middle. You're going to see him come off the ball, take the offensive lineman, and smack him back. Here's a guy that wants to play. Here's a guy that understands what physicality is in a big-time situation in the game. Watch it. Oh, look at that. That is a nice hit. Come up now. Again, get your hands down, JJ, right? Discipline for yourself, but look at the jack. Look at that. Why, yes. That's a baller right there. Jordan Jefferson, I just showed you stopping the Longhorns up the gut. Watch this on the perimeter here. You're going to see the Mountaineers get after the Longhorns because guess what? They're swarming. They're running to the ball, and not just one or two. They're swarming 3, 4, 5, 6. Watch it up. There you go. Who wants to play ball? Yeah, that's showing you want to play ball. That's a great job right there. Watch this slow motion. Sean Martin coming through. You got Lance Dixon down there. Avery Burks right there. Guess what? 1st and 10 is now 2nd and 10. That's a good job. That's Mountaineer ball right there. As I said in my pregame, I didn't call it, but it doesn't matter because you deal with your situation. But that's an extra 20 yards after a missed tackle for a minimum gain. And as I said earlier, they can really hurt you in the perimeter game, and they did at times with the Mountaineers. Watch Hudson Card right here. He's got to get the ball off. Look at that. Right down. Just a wheel route out of the backfield. Just a wheel route, simple route, right out of the backfield. Somebody needs to be there. Somebody has to cover. Breakdown. Bijan Robinson is a passing reception threat. He's got ball skills. He can catch the ball, and then he can run after catch, and that's the problem. The Mountaineers had opportunity to stop him for a minimal game, and what happens? He goes ahead. He catches the ball. Look at that. The blitzing, no pressure on quarterback. Missed tackle right there. Open field, missed tackle. Actually, this is a pretty savvy play here by the Longhorns. They went ahead, they put their 2 backs in with Bijan Robinson in the pistol look, and then off to the weak look, you're going to have Roschon Johnson. Now, they haven't shown that all season, so the Mountaineers hadn't seen it, but it doesn't matter because Roschon Johnson, you're going to see, is going to swing around just on a simple wheel route, and they got to be better. They got to be able to cover this. It's wide open. See the play action? He's rolling out, wide open. That would have been a touchdown piece. The breakdown was limit the big plays of Texas and make the big plays for the Mountaineers. Went the reverse for the most part. Once again, you see the 2 backs in the backfield, but watch the tight end is going to make the most of this. And when I say out-athlete, this is out-athlete right here. Play action pass, going around. Watch this here, tight end's out. It's a scramble, man. This is just making it happen. That's just being an athlete, just being out-athlete. Watch this here. Slow motion. Look at this big old tight end coming down. That wasn't a play call. That was just going on the moment, and a big man rolling down is a problem for anyone trying to tackle him. And here you're going to see the Longhorns in that bunch look, going to try to run a screen. What happens? The Mountaineers are getting after it and running to the ball, swarming to the ball. You see this? Look at this. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Mountaineers. Aubrey Burks right there making a play. Very little to no game. That's how you play defense and swarm to the perimeter. Swarm to the ball. And here's an answer for the quarterback rolling out of the pocket. Hudson Card. You're going to see Lee Coba come in and get the sack. But watch. It's all reaction time. Here he comes. He makes a decision, and he goes. That's it. That's how you play defense. That's stopping the Longhorns. That's stopping them in Austin. And the last one, watch Xavier Worthy gets the ball here. And you see the Mountaineers swarming. When you play fast, you can get to the ball. When you're not playing with a deer in the headlights, not playing without physicality, all those things. When you go into a place like Texas with this type of Texas talent, this type of Longhorn talent, you have to play strong and fast and aggressive. This is strong, fast, and aggressive. Linnell Carr right there. Yes, you see it. 4, 5, 6 Mountaineers. That's how you play ball. That's good football. JT Daniels played a good game with 253 yards. Watch here as you see him make this big-time throw. This is a big-time throw to Sam James doing it out, and an excellent catch by Sam James. We need more catches like this, the spectacular, but we also need the every down catches by Sam. Every down. You'll see what a throw. Steps up in the pocket, delivers. Excellent play there. Good job. Looked like it was out, but he got it right in. Very good. Get your foot in, Sam. Good job. Aiden Prather was targeted 11 times and 8 receptions, including this one for the touchdown. I think he just keeps growing and growing. His stock keeps going up and up. Play action pass. JT Daniels spots him. Eagles up top. Very good job. Excellent job, Caden Prather. Keep growing, keep going, because you're a guy who can make a difference in a program. And coming out in the third quarter, the Mountaineers are down 28-7. I thought, here, this is your opportunity to make big plays. We talked about it in the pregame breakdown. The Mountaineers had to make big plays, and here it stinks. It's tough. I know it, but Aubrey Burks had his hands on this interception, bounced out of his hands and into the hands of the Longhorns. That's tough stuff. You got to make the play. Aubrey Burks is going to be a special Mountaineer. He's got a lot of talent, and he's just young. He's only in probably his 6th or 7th game right now. But he was hurt last season. True sophomore, Aubrey Burks. But you got to make the play. The running game obviously was very disappointing for the Mountaineers. But I know that this offensive line can play better than what they did. Now, credit Texas Longhorns. They got some NFL guys over there, some big dudes that fill up a lot of space. What the Mountaineers did not do was get up to the second level consistently. That means getting to the linebackers, securing that line of scrimmage. Here you see, that's a nice push. That's a great push. And this is what I'm going to say here about this offensive group. They don't quit. I'm going to show you Tony Mathis on 3 running plays. The young man's running hard. The offensive line is still blocking. This is late in the game. The game's already spoken for. Texas Longhorns are going to be victorious. But this offense has not given up. Watch TM roll in there. Get it. Fight, fight, fight. Keep going. That's it. Keep fighting, man. Put your shoulders down. Get to the edge now. Get around the edge. Go as hard as you can right there. There you go, TM. Keep it going. Now walk right in there, because the offensive line blocked. And that's what they need to do. Now, they need to do that from the beginning of the game and take it to their opponents, not at the end of the game trying to make it better. Xavier Worthy, freshman All-American last year, led the Big 12, I believe. So when you see our DBs, and you're saying, why do they have such a tough time? It's because it's speed. I don't know if they've seen a lot of speed like this constantly coming at them. This guys with speed coming at them all the time. And all of a sudden, it's like, wow, man, a deer in headlights. Watch this. I mean, it's a great play. Koba's there, hidden Card. Card makes an incredible throw, and you see Worthy making the touch. Slow motion. There goes Koba. Look at it. Card steps right in there, doesn't flinch, and he's 4 to 5 yards away from the defender. You've heard me say speed kills and kills fast. Watch 1, 2, 3 Mountaineers against 3 Longhorns. Speed wins. Watch it. You can't catch them. You got to get out there and cover it. Wow. That's just coming at you all the time. Deer in headlights, don't blink. And capping it off, let me just say this. When you are a freshman and the first time you see true speed like Xavier Worthy, you can get hurt definitely, and it can be trouble. Now, you got to learn from that, and you got to start understanding what that speed is. But this here, if you blink, he's gone. You can see, look at the separation right there. First time these guys are seeing speed like this. Wow. Check it out here. This is a better look at it. You're going to see him going out. He's wide open. The pass is overthrown. But look at the separation here. That would be a touchdown. Speed kills and kills fast. Well, there's some of the highlights, the lowlights, whatever lights you want to call it. But it's real and it's truth. And if you want reality, reality is this. The Mountaineers have to get better in all phases of the game. They have to be better offensively, running the ball. They have to be better throwing the ball. They have to be better deciding when to switch from one to the other. They have to know how to get off of man coverage, the receivers. They have to know how to get up to the second level, the offensive linemen, onto the linebackers. They have to move those down front defensive linemen. Defensive linemen, you have to get more penetration. You have to get more TFLs, tackles for loss. Secondary, you have to be able to line up and know your coverages. You have to be able to communicate. You have to understand. You can't let receivers just run right on by. It's all things. You have to start creating big plays. You have to start catching the ball for big plays. You have to start, creating turnovers and winning field position and doing all the things that you're supposed to do as a team to win ball games. I know it's preached to you. I know it's preached to you. And I know that you can do it because you have. But you got to do it more consistently. And so there's not a whole lot for me to say about this Texas game. I'll tell you this. I've had my can kicked a time or two. Had my can kicked a time or two. It happens. It happens. But I'll tell you this. Also, I never quit. I never gave up. And I always kept coming back. Always kept coming back to fight. And that's what Mountaineers do. So if you're not on board, get off. Because this team just wants the fans are going to sit there and support. Because they're going to give it their all. They're not going to stop believing in themselves. They're not going to start sitting there and pointing fingers like everybody wants to do. And actually, I very much understand that whole point. I would love to point fingers myself. But you know what? When I point fingers, man, you know, every time I point, there's 3 pointing right back at me. Right there. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3. And, you know, it's like this. We all want to be winners. We all want to be winners. And we're fighting it, but we're also playing a lot of winners as well. And sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. Virginia Tech, you won. Texas, you lost. Let's see what happens against Baylor. And let's see if you just can't come home and be like Texas did instead of going out and playing at Texas Tech like a bunch of guys, an average team, and they came back and play like the Texas Longhorns can play. Let's see if the Mountaineers can come back from this Texas game, going out there and then coming back and playing Baylor at home like the West Virginia Mountaineers can play, should play, want to play, know how to play. Make it happen. But you stay together, my man. You stay together, young brothers. Don't let anything get in there. Don't let anything creep in. You stay together and you keep working. Leaders lead. So lead. Get up there and lead. It doesn't matter if you have a bad game overall. It doesn't matter because only the next game counts because you can't do anything about the last game. Texas is over. It is what it is. That's reality. You lost. So don't get caught up in Texas. Get caught up in Baylor. And that's the best advice that I can give, if I can give so humbly. And that, my friends, is your WolfMan's Call, the Texas Review, brought to you by Parmar Stores. There's not a Parmar store near you now. There will be one soon. In fact, they just added one here on Tuesday, October 4th. Their 201st store up in Pittsburgh. They're all over the place, 5 different states. They're marching, man. They're marching, and they're marching with the Mountaineers as well. So you got to love that. Artisan Grange Company, do it the AGC way. Switch to hep, just the dip. Johnny Cahigas, my guy, man, out there. Johnny, I'll tell you what, man, is that you're doing a great thing because you're knocking the tobacco out. You're knocking the nicotine out. You know, I really believe that doing this and using this as a replacement for all the nicotine and the tobacco, okay, you're helping people's lives, man. And that's why I am all about AGC. Get off the tobacco. Get off your addictions, man. Get off of it and be free. Freedom is awesome. Freedom is awesome. Yeah, man. Let's go. Let's get fired up for Baylor. Let's go, Mountaineers. Hail, West Virginia. Boom!